Every single shift I'd show up, it was a body recovery from 1 to 5 body recoveries per shift.
The Eagle Pass Fire Department responds to search and rescue and recoveries along the Rio Grande. It's not federal border agents or state soldiers who answer those calls consistently. It's this small, local team of EMTs.
You know, in my 32 years, I had never seen this much traumatic incidents.
People get swept away by the rapids, and sometimes we see multiple get swept away by the river.
That land is Mexico. All they've got to do is swim across the Rio Grande to get to the United States. It's what they've worked so hard for. But what a lot of them don't take into account is how dangerous the water of the Rio Grande is. Where we are right now is incredibly choppy. The current is so strong,
but not strong enough for migrants to give up.
When I first started as fire chief, we'd probably get about maybe 10 calls a year for migrant drownings.
Ordinarily, EPFD Chief Manuel Melo says migrant groups are maximum 50 people here in Eagle Pass. In 2023, that changed.
When you're talking about 2, 3, 4,000 people crossing at one time and the ambulance running nonstop, it's just putting a crush on our fire department.
Especially the last 4 months of last year. Record-breaking migrant numbers means record-breaking emergency numbers.
The hospital was getting overwhelmed.
More drownings, more death.
There's some faces you don't forget, and especially when it involves children, it just hits the hardest. I said the last couple of weeks, it was nothing but children from 5 to 12 years of age.
It's taking a toll on my guys.
It got to a point where, you know what, I don't want to see their little faces. Let's do what we do, put the bodies in the body bags, and I just couldn't see their faces.
It's something Chief Melo says he's having to plan for. This year, several EMTs quit the job. It simply became too much.
We are working on some grants to try to get these guys some help, so in the future, they won't end up with depression or anything worse like suicide.
Driving past the river brings a new memory at each turn.
In this area, apparently the water had swept at least 12 individuals, including kids and females. That day we were only able to retrieve three or four of them. And I believe they were all brothers and sisters.
It's hard to hear, hard to talk about, but the Eagle Pass Fire Department wants the rest of the state and country to understand.
It's affected overall everything, the businesses, the community, the people, us, first responders, law enforcement. I think we've all taken a big hit from this.
Border towns and cities like Eagle Pass bear the brunt of the ongoing crisis.
Where they talk about Chicago, they talk about New York. Well, they've got big budgets. We've got a small budget, and it's a small town, 30,000 people at the most.
Things calmed down in January, but February and March, numbers normally pick back up.
If we get another big group of immigration, I know it's going to be rough. I know we're going to go through another rough couple of months.